Hello guys, welcome to another Banter Blitz show. So normally I would do training on Tuesday, but there is a reason it was postponed till the next week. So the next episode will be an episode number 100. So it will be special. It will be question and answer format. So just like 50 episodes ago, I decided to do that again, and I've created a post in a community in the improvement branch. You can find it there. So you can leave your questions in that post so that in 1 week during the training Tuesday, I will answer those questions. So I hope it will be something interesting for you. It will be a little break from normal training Tuesdays. And during question and answer episode, you will have a chance to ask the question, which is very important for you, and I will answer it in details. So I normally try to answer all of your questions, but sometimes I just don't have enough time to think about your questions properly, so it will be the other case. All right, just as usual, want to know if technically everything is all right on your end. On my end, it says everything is okay. And we're going to start playing Blitz. There will be one more Banter Blitz on Thursday, just as usual this week. And once again, training Tuesday, the next episode number 100, will be in 1 week. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? We have several challenges already, which is very nice. Just as usual, I'm going to start with somebody I've never played before. I can see Rakesh is here. We have never played, so I'll accept it for starters. So I guess you were trained properly a bit earlier today playing against Jan, so you can show me what real chess is. I'm also in the mood to play something aggressive, so be ready to defend. Let's see, knight goes to f3, bishop goes to d6. Looks like one of the lines of Pert's defense, but reversed, so it's like Pert's attack or something. So gonna attack on the king side here. Gonna try at least. Let's see if I can do it. Rook to e1, isn't it a bit slow? Probably it's fine. But what about h4? To be honest, I expected something like e4 immediately after h5, trying to get some play in the center. H takes g3, f takes g3. This weaken's diagonal a7, g1, but I'm not sure I can use it immediately. It's a good idea for me just to continue the development. It's a rare case when you can develop the bishop from c8 immediately to h3, but why not? It's a part of a plan to try to exchange a light screwed bishop, which is the main defender of the key. And now e4. Okay. Would be nice for me to keep position closed in the center so that I can entirely focus on the king side. That's why I decided to play d4, just to make this rook on e1 quite passive. Okay, now what? How to develop that knight? So, simple thing is just to put it on d7. But what is the next thing to do with that knight? To f6, then probably to g4, something like that. I anyway don't have a direct attack at the moment. Maybe c5 and knight to c6. Yeah, it looks active, so let's try it. And knight to c6 now. Okay. Good. Good for now. Bishop here, well, I wanted to put my pawn on f6 anyway, so kind of given me a tempo. So queen d7 now. Supporting the bishop on h3, maybe intending to capture it with the queen whenever white wants to take on h3 and b4. This looks strange because I can take on c3 and take on b4. I think it's just a blunder or something. So bishop is hanging, bishop captures c3, I take on b4, winning the pawn. The question is to take with the pawn or to take with the knight. It's a good question. So if I take with the knight and white takes, I'm happy to have pair of bishops. Well, at least for some time. On the other hand, if white doesn't take, my bishop remains passive. So I'm going to take with the pawn, immediately grabbing this square for my bishop. Should I play knight e4 here? Or just take on e3 first? Let's take on e3. Let's keep it simple. Now just castling, I suppose. And attacking d3 at the same time. It became weak after I captured on c3. After white played c3. Rook to d1. Isn't it too passive? It's time to make a decision. Queen takes g2. King b8. So Olaf says test. What's going on? Something's wrong with chat, or something's wrong with the stream in general? Tell me, please. So at least I can see your comment. Chat. Okay, chat is lagging. All right. I felt it was something wrong, but now I can see your comments, so probably chat is back. And check. First. I don't know why didn't I take on f5, by the way. It was hanging. I was like looking at chat mainly. Stream is okay, says Karsten. That's fine. But now it's a question if it is about the current moment or it is just, you know, the message which was sent many minutes ago and for some reason was delayed. a3. Okay, b7 is protected, so I can take. That's why I played rook d7, to have b7 protected well. Now I have a threat of playing a2, by the way. I don't see how white is going to prevent it. Probably there is no way to do that. And my pawn should promote next move. Or, well, we're just taking the rook, which is also just fine. So extra rook should be winning. Okay, I believe the white's problem in this game was that he played two passive moves. For example, there's knight to f1 and rook e1. I didn't like it. I would try something like e4 here. Just, you know, starting active play in the center immediately. Compared to e4, which happened a bit later in the game. Here, I probably cannot play d4. Well, I can actually, but I don't want to do that for sure because of knight c4. Now e5 is under pressure and white can grab my bishop, then undermine the center with a c3, open up a position, and dark square bishop will become a monster. So after e4, I'm not sure what I was going to do. Maybe just keep this pressure in the center, But it's okay for white because now he has some active ideas like e5, c5, c4. Rook will go to e1, attacking e5 actually, not just staying there passive till the rest of the game, till the end of the game, sorry. So, yeah, e4 is strongly recommended here. After rook e1 and h4, I suppose it was interesting to try knight takes h4. So yeah, in this case I have open file, but I'm not sure I can use it at least immediately. So white always has something like d4 and knight to e5 to give the pawn back, but to make position a bit sharper. So yeah, and there's knight to f1, and actually this is not good. So black is having no problems now, and of course the main mistake was a bit later when white blundered the pawn. Okay. Today Banter Tuesday. Yeah, that's right, Banter Tuesday, Mick. I'm happy you're here. So let's go further. Let's have a look at somebody else I've never played before. Just as usual, there are many players I've played at least one game. Searching for somebody I've never ever played. Here is Alexander K. Accept. And training Tuesday on Thursday makes sense. No, there is no training Tuesday on Thursday. Training Tuesday will be in 1 week on Tuesday. Next Thursday, I mean this coming Thursday, will be a banter again. So 2 banters this week. And next Tuesday will be Q&A Tuesday. Episode number 100, by the way. And Mick, for your information, there is a post in the community where you can leave your question if you have a question. I'll happily and readily answer it in 1 week. Okay, e3. Let's try to activate the bishop before we play e6. I know I'm just provoking some fire. So f3, g4 is possible now. But it's intentional. So, as I said before, I'm in the mood today to play something dynamic. So let's make this position as complicated as possible and try to survive it. Hoping for a counter-attack one day. h4. Alright, h5. Stopping all this mess on the king side. And now trying to undermine things with the e5 maybe. Knight to e2. So can I play e5 now? I think it's too much. D takes c5, so what? And knight will go to d4 after that. So I'm not prepared for that. Maybe it's a good idea just to wait a bit and to play queen to b6 instead. Another idea is just to forget about e5 for some time, just to play e6 and then c5. What white is going to do? White is probably going to go away with the bishop from f4 and put the knight on f4. I have to understand that. And for that reason, I guess queen b6 is good. So the idea is not only to attack b2, which is not clear if it is heading or not, but to have e5 once the bishop goes away from f4 so that e3 is heading. So if you want to play dragon as black, I guess Ginger GM can help. So he's a big fan of that opening. I'm presumably an expert there. And I believe he has a lot of videos on that topic as well. Maybe even some courses. So may be interesting. Okay, e6. Finally. Not e5. I still don't think I have a proper compensation if I play e5 in this position. Okay, b4. Wow. What's going on? Let's run away. I mean, I wanted to play knight c7, but knight a4 was really annoying. Almost trapping my queen there. Almost. Not really trapping, but still annoying. And now, knight c7 is... is safe. So Galactic says, Gavain Jones wrote a book on the dragon, I think. Yeah, that's right. He's a great guy. But I'm also taking into account the level. So the book of Gavain Jones is probably too overwhelming for Mick. And it's really not needed to know all the nuances there, to know, different orders of moves and all this boring stuff. So for Mick, it's important just to understand all the ideas perfectly, to know typical maneuvers. That's why I'm not recommending monographies like the one of Gavain Jones to start learning something. That's my idea, at least. All right. King on f2, e3 protected, knight f4 is prepared. What to do? It's a good question. Hell, I don't know. a5 maybe, just undermining this b4, at least trying to deflect white from the king side. And in general, all these books of quality chess, and I guess that book was published in Quality Chess, are for professionals, for grandmasters, some international masters still hoping to become grandmasters. So, not the best choice for club players in many cases. Queen to c8. Position looks strange, to be honest. Well, but both a3 and a5 are hanging. Long term, I should have a better pawn structure. But the key word is long term. For now, it's not so important stuff, I guess. But I start feeling like, okay, if I manage to play some like c5 at the right moment, I'll have a good position. Yeah, but white is also having fun there on the king side. Bishop to h3. Wow, this is already very dangerous. So I have to complete the development as soon as possible. Maybe I'm blundering something good. But right now, I don't see a better option anyway. Okay, let's provoke white. Let's provoke. Let's just castle and say, oh, right, if you want to take on g6, then take on c7, and then take on e6, you can do that. I'm not against. But the f file becomes open, which is important because white's king is not that safe, right? And the time is ticking. Okay, so let's go away with the king. Still offering the pawn on e6. So if white wants to take it, all right, let it be. But white is not doing that for some reason. I know the reason why I wouldn't do that with white. What white is thinking there, I don't know. Okay, so it's time to improve my knight d7. I don't like this knight d7. All other pieces are not that bad. But the knight is really bad. It's doing nothing. I want to bring it to c4. So is it something that is hanging here? I don't see. So let's go to b6. And then to c4. That was a plan at least. Alright, we're here. Knight f4. I'm not sure what I was going to do against this move. So let's just put the rook on f5. Grabbing the light squared bishop. Maybe it was better to take that knight. I don't know. Honestly, my position is no good here. Oh, knight takes h5 is too generous. And I believe, yeah. My opponent didn't notice my queen on c8. So, now it's completely lost. Completely lost. Let's bring our knights there to finish the game. Okay, I understand it was because of the time trouble. Obviously, I was outplayed at some point. So I don't know what I've done wrong. Actually, I thought my position was quite safe. Maybe after knight f to d7, knight to e2, I should have tried this e5, just to sacrifice a pawn to get free development. So e5, d takes c5, then most likely bishop c5, or something, then queen to e7, counter-attacking that pawn e5. Maybe even knight f8, knight e6 may be considered here. So, at very least, interesting position. What I've done was, well, not so good, because quickly I realized all this action on the queen side was premature. I achieved nothing there, and white got this simple plan based on knight f4, and I was not prepared for that. So, yeah, and especially this a5, I didn't expect b takes a5, honestly. So instead of playing a5, I should have played b5 first to fix the pawn on b4, and then play a5. And also creating c4 square for my knights. So like knight b6, knight c4 is another plan here. Even if white plays in like a4, I guess I can play knight b6 or something like that. Maybe a6 first, then knight b6, knight c4. I'm not sure entirely, but after a5, there's b7 is hanging, and then knight is on c7. So, yeah, a5 was definitely premature. And a bit later, of course, white had a better position, but the time trouble messed the things completely. Thank you for the game, anyway. So one more game against somebody I've never played before. Let's have a look. Do we have somebody here? Blobix. Let's play. The chat is dead again. Maybe nothing is happening. Maybe just a technical issue. I have no idea. Okay, Philomato says, nope, not dead. Thank you. Thank you, my friend, for letting me know. Alright, Blobix, are you going to make your move? Because you're playing with white pieces. If you don't make a move, the game will never start. E4, c5. So, Sicilian. And b3. My god. Why b3? Why not d4? I was going to play dynamic chess. And white is going to squeeze me with c4 and e4. By the way, Mick, that is something you are afraid of with black when you play Sicilian, right? This is damn good thing for white, I mean. Most of cases. What to do here? What do I just play e5? Oh shit, it's just a blunder. It's just a blunder. But who knows, maybe my opponent will be confused and won't take on e5. Come on, what's going on? Yeah, he captured. He captured. Let's try to regain the pawn. Let's regain the pawn. Let's try to regain it. I mean, what protects the bishop, I just attack it with a d6 or something, and then I take on e4, but who says it's good for black? Looks actually very bad. I'm really unhappy with my position right now. It's nearly lost, to be honest. Because when I take on e4, I lose a lot of time. If I were white, I would just go away with the bishop. Then after queen e4, I would have played one move, then one more, and it's lost for black. Oh my god. e5 is just so terrible. Probably the worst move ever I played in my life. Right, I think I have no choice. So let's take the pawn. Feels like I'm drunk, but I'm not. There is another reason probably for doing the stuff I'm doing. Definitely not the alcohol. Bishop e2, queen g2, bishop f. Yeah, that is exactly the move I was thinking of. So just bishop e2. So Philomato asks, you never hung mate in 1? I guess never. In 2 probably, but not in 1. Maybe I did actually, but the circumstances were absolutely different. I mean, I was in a severe time trouble or something. Here I had all the time in the world at my disposal, and I made this terrible move e5. So it's different. Okay. What to do now? I mean, it's so lost. Right, I'll take on g2, because without taking it, it's anyway lost. Here at least I have a pawn for all this suffering. Or maybe I'm just overestimating white's position. Maybe it's fine for black. Like, pawn is a pawn. Who cares that I have no pieces developed except for my queen? Just kidding, obviously. It cannot work. So my only hope is that my opponent is not that experienced in attacking uncastled king. In that case, I have some chances still. So my opponent has less than 2 minutes on the clock. That's another factor I can use. Knight to c3, queen to e2. Flag him, says Karsten. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, knight c3, so what to do now? Just to put the knight on f6, I believe. What else can I do? Cobra is here. Nice. So less than 1 minute. No, still 1 minute on the clock. Knight to d5. Okay, I'm going to capture it. Simplifying the position a bit. But once again, after white recaptures, I have no pieces developed. That's annoying. But that is at the same time something I can live with. The only problem is that now I don't have e6 square to cover my king whenever queen goes to e2. What to do with that? To put it the other way, do I have a chance to prevent queen e2 check? I don't think so. So let's focus on the things I can do. I can play d6. Now I can play king to d8. Castles. Okay, white is close. I'm really having big problems here. But I guess I can move. I still can move, so let's do it. Bishop d7, king c7, rook to e8. And we are defending well. We're doing well. Little by little, improving the position. Rook to g1. What's going on? g7 is under attack. That's technicality. So let's play rook e8. Queen to d3. All right. Now, what if we play bishop f5, where the queen goes to c3 most likely, because bishop f3 needs some defense. There's a problem with bringing my bishop to life. Maybe it's time to forget about that pawn and just play bishop e7, completing the development. I guess so. Let's do it. Queen to c3 is a terrible mistake, I believe. Yeah, there is a threat of queen a5, but it's just check. Well, this stuff is important because I'm getting rid of my bad bishop. And the one on f3 is hanging. And all of a sudden I have all the pieces coordinated. And not bad passive, which is amazing. So bishop a6 is a threat, right? All right. What to do? It's not that big threat, I guess. Let's take on h2. Let's take on e1 now. Let's take on f2. It's probably too greedy, right? Yeah, it's better just to get rid of that rook. And now I think I can try taking on a6. So takes, king d8, check, king e7. Yeah, I'm hiding there. So let's just take the piece. Okay, I won on time, but I think there is no perpetual, right? So queen takes a6, just king d8. And d6 is protected with the queen from h2. It's not a problem. And I don't see how white is going to prevent me from going through e7 to f8 and just hiding there. That should be just winning position for black now. All right, so white was close to win the game. But something went wrong at some point. I think knight d5 was wrong. So instead of playing knight to d5, it was much more interesting to try something like knight to a4, attacking b6 if white wanted to put the knight somewhere at this very moment. Yeah, knight to a4 looks something. Like knight to b6 is a very annoying threat, but maybe not immediately because of queen e6 check. But there is queen e2. I have no idea. It's not so simple position after all. The point here is that if white plays queen e2 check immediately, I always have this queen e6. Should be fine for black. yeah, still not developed, but position is never becoming that open to be seriously worried about the fact you're still not developed. So, you know, maybe black is doing not that bad overall here. Complicated stuff. Okay, thank you for the game anyway. That was really fun. Let's go back to the normal order of challengers, and here is the challenge from Galactic. And taking into account how I play today, it will be hard, because Galactic is rated 2600. So, strong opponent. I have to focus. French. Alright, knight of 3. Bishop d5 instead of knight e5. Maybe, by the way. Controlling e6. Preparing queen e2. Yeah, maybe. Interesting idea, by the way. So. Let's put the bishop on b5. I like to do that. Just provoking a6. Additional weakening of the queen side, but my opponent decides not to do that. Not to play a6. Which is quite good. Alright, let's go away then. Because position of the bishop on d3 is more logical than on b5. Karsten asks, a4 protecting a4? a4, yeah, protecting a4 square. That's right, preventing bishop a4. Knight 90 asks, not training Tuesday, episode number 100 today? Yeah, it's postponed till the next week. Because there was just a little break between the rescheduled episode number 99, which happened on Friday. So I decided to postpone it till the next week, so to give people a possibility to ask a question. Alright, h6. Covering g5 square, so there is no bishop takes h7 anymore. It will be hard for me to achieve anything here. Knight goes to a5. Let's go and provoke black for g5. And in general, there is no big sense in having the bishop on d2 anymore, since the knight is not going to jump to b4. After cd4, knight b4, I mean. But how to attack here? I've got no idea. Maybe it's possible just to play bishop a6 now to start with. Just to ask what this rook is doing there. Rook to d8. c4 was kind of threat, I think. Knight 90, you can challenge 3+2. But I cannot promise a good quality of the game because I'm in a bad shape. But you can challenge, of course, and I will accept that challenge for sure. So at some point, I should play something like knight to d2 here and bring my queen to active position, somewhere in g4 or maybe on h5 even. Knight to c4. Maybe it's a good moment just to play this knight e2. Attacking the knight twice. And maybe even thinking of taking it with the bishop to bring the knight to e4 after that and to go to d6. Yeah, starts looking kind of planned, but black is not forced to give me that chance. It's always kind of possible to just exchange knights. I don't think I have anything specific in this position, but knight b2 is something strange to me. Of course, I understand black is going to take on a4. Does it work? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. So takes. There is nothing specific for white there. Yeah. I've blundered that. The only problem for black potentially is that the knight is a bit misplaced. But who says it is really misplaced? After something like cd4 can go to c3 at some point. So let's pretend we have some initiative for it. We can try something like c4, I guess. Next move. Especially if black castles short. Even if black doesn't castle, I think c4 is the only active plan for me now. To do what? To bring my queen to g3 at some point, to attack g7. And also to open the position in the center to give my bishops some freedom. And so on. Okay, so knight on e7 is under pressure. Can I use it somehow? It's hard to achieve anything here. Okay, let's just play this. So we're a pawn down. But we still have some typical play here on the king side. While black is playing on the queen side, which is logical because black has a pawn majority. There, we're trying to achieve something on the other side of the board. So let's say rook e3, rook g3, then g5. Something like this is considered. Maybe also including bishop h3 move at some point. Just completely focusing on the king side now. Because queen side is lost. Right, let's go there. Dynamic chess. Okay. I wanted to do that even after immediate b4, one move ago. So everything is protected. We're 2 pawns down now, but we have some pressure on the king side. Some real pressure, I suppose. Okay. Can I take that pawn? Can I take that pawn? I can. But then what? So like queen g5, bishop g7. Maybe bishop g7 immediately, but then h5 drops. That's a shame. Let's protect f5 square first. Yeah. And now bishop g7, h6. h7, h8, right? That's the plan. All right. Another object of attack. We're breaking through the barricades. Okay. Now we have what? We have extra rook, I believe. An extra queen now, which we're exchanging for the rook and winning the game. Okay. 64 came and asks if he actually missed anything special. No, you didn't. Nothing happened. All right. That was a fantastic game. Very, very interesting. And there was a nice moment where I could have probably improved my play. Karsten actually suggested, instead of playing queen to c1 here, that was intentional. I wanted to bring my queen to a3, just because it exerts some pressure in this diagonal a3 f8, stopping black from castling in many cases. But most likely Karsten is absolutely right. So in this particular case, queen g4 was much more interesting. Just attacking g7. I was not sure about g5 here, to be honest. So after that, I have to go away with my bishop. Not sure where exactly. And then once g5 is protected, this h5 becomes really annoying. But probably the thing is, it's really hard to protect g5 the way h5 is still possible. So if you play rook g8, h5 is no longer a threat. Yeah, makes sense. And now after g5, I have a real object of attack. I can undermine this pawn with the h4. So probably just bishop to g3 and then h4. Yeah, this looks much more interesting compared to the game. Because there, black could have even castled here immediately. And I believe white doesn't have sufficient compensation for a pawn. Just castling, then knight g6, then c4. Same like in the game, but having the king already saved there on the king side. That's the thing. All right. Let's go on. Let's go on. Olaf is next. Wow. This is a challenge. It's always a challenge. Like each and every episode, Olaf is playing very well. So, let's try something different. My plan is very simple and straightforward. I want to play e5, and I've already played e5. Let's see what my opponent has against this. D takes e5. Alright, D takes e5 now. E4. That's too aggressive. Now there is a d4 square, which is weak. So I'm playing c6 not to create the same for white. So here is the difference. White doesn't have the access to d5, but I potentially will have the access to c5. That's a good question, how to develop my pieces the right way. I'm just curious. So queen belongs to c7. That's 100%. Here I wanted to play bishop c5, just getting rid of dark squared bishops. Why it's important, because this bishop is a defender of d4. Oh, whoa. Maybe it was not the right decision for me to take that bishop, but I just don't believe this pawn structure is that good for white in this particular case. First of all, let's put the knight on c5. And now what? Knight to f6, I believe, to support this knight in case there's something like knight a4, because I believe it's a good square for knights. h3. All right, let's just castle. It's like I'm having much better bishop. Or maybe not much better, but definitely better one. Because white's bishop is limited with on pawns, seriously. All around the board. My bishop is okay. It doesn't have the same problem. Yeah, but there is knight f5 coming. So knight f5, bishop f5, e takes f5, and e4. Maybe I shouldn't play e4 myself. Waiting for white to play e4 and we can d4 again. Rook d to f1. So since white didn't capture with the pawn on f5, the bishop is still quite bad, I guess. There is no clear way for black to break through at the moment. At the same time, I don't think black's advantage here, and I believe black has an advantage here, is a short-term one, so I'm not afraid of the fact I'm not seeing a clear way to win this position just immediately. I still have time. So most likely I will just double my rooks along the d file. Oh, what? What's that? Did I blunder something? No, I don't think so. Is it really possible to play like that? So what if I just... Okay, let's focus. What's going on? Queen h5 is literally just one pawn, right? So let's play this move. Now queen f7 or queen e8. Don't see a big difference, so let's play queen e8. So extra minor piece for 2 pawns, but white has 2 doubled pawns. So I don't think the compensation is sufficient. Neither materially nor positionally. Queen e2, okay. So queen is just back. Let's put my queen on g6. Attacking e4. Or rook f5. So let's put the rook on d8. I don't see a threat, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe white has a direct threat, but I don't see it at the moment. So rook g3 is nothing for now. So I have time for knight c8, knight e7. I can also consider knight e6 followed by knight g5 if I want. And let's play knight e6. I like this move. Queen f2. Okay, rook g3 is coming. But once again, is it so dangerous? So let's play knight g5 first. Now h4 is here. So what about this move? preventing h4, simply. Nah, maybe it was too optimistic. All this stuff. Yeah, here's h4. Crap. White is amazing. I mean, White managed to find something in a position where I thought there was nothing, simply. Okay. Now black is suffering. For real. Maybe White started celebrating a bit too early. Now I have some counter chances, but I have only 20 seconds, so everything can happen here. Let's remove this, just in case White decides to take there. No. Oh. This is very bad. For White, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal. What a game, huh? What a game. White sacrificed a piece, I thought for nothing, but then somehow found some play. That's amazing. Okay. So what I did wrong? Takes there. Maybe h5 was not needed, but I didn't feel like it was dangerous. Takes, queen e2. So queen g5, just rook f5. So I guess I have to, if I protect the pawn with the rook h8, there was rook f7. Queen f7, rook f7, king f7. Also good for black, since black is having extra minor piece, but the king was a bit exposed, so I decided to avoid it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that was the best way to play. Just protect the pawn, buddy. And what? If White plays something like rook f5, rook h5, alright, it's the same, but with one rook less, which means I have better chances to protect. Me. Oh, what happened? Was it a draw? What's that? Oh, it was a stalemate! Oh my god. I didn't notice that. Wow. Stalemate. Oh my god. I didn't even realize I stalemated my opponent. What? I thought my opponent just resigned. Realizing that it's like, you know, makes no sense anymore to play. But oh shit. Oh god. Yeah, but I deserved it after you know, spoiling the position I've got with extra minor piece, with such a pawn structure to start with, and so forth. Yeah, this is something that happens to me for the first time. I didn't even realize it was a stalemate. Whew. Okay, so somewhere here, I believe, instead of rook d8, Before white managed to play rook f3, queen f2, or king h2, preparing rook g3, maybe I had a chance and time to play knight to c8. Say rook f3, knight goes to, say, d6. Where to go with the rook? That's a question. So maybe after that, white would have played something like this. But this is different now. After knight d6, I'm attacking e4. So I can take on e4 with the knight and recapture with another knight, and g3 is covered. Yeah, crazy experience, especially the stalemate at the end. My God, so stupid. And an extra rook and knight to stalemate your opponent. All right, anyway, thank you. Bertus Maximus, 3-minute rated, accept. Oh God. Lost my chat. Knight game, please. Yeah, I'm going to play against knight after this game. So, first of all, I'm fixing my chat to see most recent entries here. Champions League in 30 minutes. Right, alright. So, after this game, So, Queen C7. Never, ever seen this before. So, let's play G4. Seriously. Stalemate, I mean. Shit. What's this? It's just like, again, people decided to sacrifice pieces. Maybe it's a good idea. After the previous game, one may consider it works. Okay. Let's see if it works here. Because it doesn't feel like black has sufficient compensation, but it also didn't feel like that in the previous game. What's going on to this guy? So let's ask a simple question. Where do you go? All right, it goes there on h5. Now, let's ask this pawn on d6. How's the things, buddy? All right. My opponent has answers to all these tricky questions. Let's castle down. Here's another great advice to watch the time. Yes, because this game is 3-minute game. Ah, my goodness. I blundered the pawn on b2, by the way. My opponent didn't notice, fortunately. Queen d7. Let's go away. d5. Can I play this? Isn't it a blunder? It's not a blunder, I guess. It's okay. Queen b7. Rook to b1. Protecting b2, just as straightforward as it can be. So extra minor piece still, which is nice. Oh, d4. All right. So position is closing. And now I'm grabbing that bishop on h5. Yeah, it should be absolutely winning, but I have only 40 seconds. I have to do that. I have to finish the game before I'm flagged. So let's protect c4 square. What am I doing here, huh? c4 was possible after this rook f5 move. What a stupid player I am. Yeah, I'm definitely in a very bad shape. But my opponent is very generous in this game, like sacrificing everything, giving me a chance to win. All right. Yeah, here was a nice chance when I played rook to f5, just to play c4. If bishop takes, then queen e4 check, and the rook drops. If bc4, then queen takes b1. So most likely I have to give up my bishop now. Or just to play something super ugly like bishop e2, queen e4, and then, I don't know, rook f3. Looks very bad. So, very bad game. Very, very bad game. Okay, so I believe this sacrifice is not good. It's not correct. All right, knight 90. Where's your challenge? Here we go. It will be extremely hard for me to play this game. Extremely, because you see what I'm doing. I'm just blundering everything. So let's focus. Let's try to play a good game this time. Knight c6, knight to c3, now f4. All this is a well-known theory. Bishop goes there, bishop d2, queen e2, yeah. All the theory. Castles. Rook to e1. Centralizing. Centralizing, my guys. King h1. e5. Knight a4. Preparing c4. Oh, this is something one may have seen before. Let's bring the rook to h5. I think it's logical. I think it's logical. Because anyway, it doesn't feel like I have any other object of attack except for that h7 pawn potentially. If bishop goes away from c8 h3 diagonal, I may even consider playing f5, but I don't think it's a good idea, at least right now. I don't see how I'm going to attack there. So maybe just queen g4, queen h4. Again, continuing with this straightforward strategy. Trying to force the weakness. Force pawn on h5 or h6, where after g6 will be much more vulnerable. Something like this. Okay. So this move should be made, I guess. Creating a direct threat. Now. I have a strange feeling that I've missed something serious. What if I play f5? I don't think it's a good idea. e5 is not protected. So if I play f5, e takes f5, bishop takes h6, rook takes e5. And yeah, I've got no time for it. presumably. Don't know. What's a good move here? What if I would play just this? And can I take with a pawn? It's a good question. Just want to have potentially the option of playing d4, but my opponent just prevented me from even thinking about it. So what about f5 now? So f5, ef5, bishop h6. Bishop h6, rook h6, bishop to king to g7, queen to h4, rook to h8, takes, queen f6. This may be something. At least it looks good for now. Looks logical. Follow up of what I've done so far. So if king g7, queen h4, black cannot take on e5 because of rook h7 check. And if rook h8, then I take the rook, and queen f6, followed by e6. Looks nice. Or maybe it's not so simple. Yeah, h2 will be hanging there, by the way, in that line, so I have to be very, very careful. So the only problem here is that I went all in. So I kind of abandoned my queen side. So if there is nothing on the king side, my position will be quite bad. But right now it looks good. Oh, I've noticed one interesting idea. So if king g7, queen h4, rook h8, there is also queen f6 check. After king takes h6, rook to e3. Nice lift. Is there a chance for black to avoid a checkmate in that line? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. There may be just a checkmate. Well, there is definitely perpetual. After king h5, rook h3, king g4, rook g3, and so forth. So who knows? Alright, now, rook g6 takes g6, king somewhere, rook e3, or king f8, queen f5, king e7. Wow. There should be something, right? What about just simple queen h3? Isn't it good enough? There's queen f6. Tricky sneaky. Tricky sneaky knight 90. Prepared that defense. Okay. So let's just start with this move. Going away from that pin and now creating that threat. Okay, but now there is only this move, I guess. Attacking f5. Because queen h3 is no longer that dangerous. But this is also not that bad. Right? Or not? Yeah, I misplayed it a bit. Maybe not a bit. Maybe completely. Ooh, what was that? That was another blunder. So bad blunder. Now I'm lost completely. I didn't notice that queen there. Come on. What a stupid player. My god. But my opponent gave me some chances to survive it, maybe. Maybe it's just an illusion. Most likely it is the one. Yeah, it's lost anyway. Oh my god, queen a3, what a shit. I told you anyway that I'm in a very bad shape, so this is how it works. So there is no reason to play this anymore. Come on. Oh my god. Oh, how can one spoil such a good position, huh? Just queen a3, not noticing the queen can capture there. What an idiot. All right. So I have a feeling there was much better chance a bit earlier here after queen d8. Position looked very juicy. All right. Queen h3 after queen d8. Ooh, I thought queen f6. That's why I didn't play that. So I've noticed that you had queen f6, and I decided that you had this idea, actually. So what was the idea behind playing queen h3 here? So you cover h8, you're just in time to go to g7. And you cover everything here. That's why, yeah. Oh, you didn't notice queen f6? Oh my goodness, I thought that was exactly the idea behind the queen d8 move. All right. So, nice. I guess rook g6 was the move here. So takes. That should be right, in general. King goes to h8. So, rook e3, queen h4. Maybe we should start then with this. It should be a checkmate, right? Yeah, should be checkmate. Okay, let's have a look at king f8. So here I was not sure. I thought queen takes f5, king e7, queen f6, king d7, queen d6, king c8. That is where I stopped calculating because I didn't notice anything decisive here. So like queen's, oh, sorry, that's another move in the style of queen a3. So I thought like, okay, I can give you this check, forcing your king to b8. Then I can even give you this check. And then what? So something like that. I saw that position, but I didn't see the follow-up here. So just king a7, let's say. Yeah, I know I can grab a lot of pawns, but the rook is a rook after all. So maybe there is something here which may improve the whole line, maybe even here. To start with something like e6, let's say. Creating a threat of checkmate on f7. And if you cover the 7th rank, like this, let's say, just to show the idea, then queen takes f5. King e7, queen f7, but in this case you can go back to g8. Now your rook is participating in defense. So I just assumed it would be too much to sacrifice the rook like this, and decided to avoid it. That's why I played rook f1. Maybe it was not the best square, actually. Or maybe it was okay. So I thought I'm attacking f5. King goes to g7. Rook to h5. All looked very good. What about rook f5 here, by the way? King takes h6. Now rook takes f7. Is it again too much? Or I'm having real threats here, like queen h3, let's say. If you play queen g5, I have to play rook h7 though. And you will have pair of rooks. Still, I think white is not at risk, but obviously it's not what white wanted to achieve in this position. So, okay, rook f1, king to g7, rook to h5. Yeah, interesting position, very rich one. And now you play king f8 because f5 is hanging. And here I played rook h8, right? Yeah, I guess here I made my mistake, my main mistake. Probably rook h7 was much more interesting. Yes, obviously rook h7. Why on earth I decided to exchange such a great rook? Tell me. I know there is no answer. I guess rook h7 was great. For example, if you play queen e7, I have rook f5. If you play king g8, I play queen h3. Starts looking quite good for white. And I have a threat of rook f5 right now, because after gf5, queen g7, king f7, queen f7 is a checkmate. What about rook a6? In this position, I believe just takes on f5. Looks like it's over because of queen g7, queen f7. If you are asking about exactly this position. So I don't see a move. But even the way I played was not so bad. So basically after king e7, just... yeah, takes there. Oh, you captured with the king. That was a good move. Yeah. That was a good move. And I've had e6. I didn't notice that. That was also interesting. Interesting follow, but it's obviously not as good as rook h7, I suppose. Yeah. So rook h7 was great. You say queen d7. Correct. Queen h4 is possible. Credence rid of rook h8. Yeah, it's very bad. It's just very bad. All right. Anyway, thank you for the game. Thank you for the game. Queen a3 was just an amazing blunder. In any case, Onam. Let's play Onam. Oh, I'm playing with black pieces against Onam. Normally I'm playing with white, but this time with black. Let's see what my opponent prepared for this game. Miserable. Miserable queen a3. Urgh. But okay. I knew I was not very well prepared for this episode, so I expected something like this. There was a question from Twyhox if it will be a general Q&A. Yeah, it will be general Q&A, so any question is accepted. Any question. I don't know if you noticed, but I've created a post in a community. So improvement branch, there is my post where you can leave your question. So what's going on here? Can I take on d5? Or just take on c3 first and then take on d5. Oh, this is too risky, so let's play e5. I know it's too simplistic, but it shouldn't be that bad. At least I hope. But I'm literally doing everything that white wants here. Weakening my position voluntarily. Giving white a real chance for attack. But if white plays f4 now, no, white decided not to play f4. Okay, let's forget about it. What about taking on c3 now? Since bishop cannot take on c3, bc3 will be forced. So at least white will have a bad pawn structure. At least some sort of compensation for my suffering. Yeah, it looks extremely bad. Dark squares are so weak. So let's try to put the pawn on f6 at least to cover some. To make it not so simple for white to break through here on the king side. Defensive play. Knight will go to e3, I believe, at some point. Okay, queen e2 to start with. And what to do next? It's hard to find a good place for knight d7. Really hard. I don't know what to do here. Let's grab some space. Oh, I found a good place for the knight on a5, by the way. It was rather an accident. Once I've played a4, I found this square. So I can play knight c5, knight b7, knight a5, attacking that pawn on c4. It will be kind of logical, I think. So just putting it on c5 made no sense to me, because there is nothing to attack from c5. But on a5 it will be good. Attacking absolutely tangible thing, a pawn on c4. Position is still very dangerous, to be honest. Still very, very dangerous. Okay, so let's hurry up with our counterattack. Although I believe it's not good. It's too slow. My queen side looks pretty bad. Probably I had to move my king away from there many moves ago, but it's now too late. Okay, so here I wanted to take this way. I know it looks terrible, but I don't want to open up the H file. It definitely simplifies white's attack. And here I still have some blockading chances. All right. Okay. More space for my pieces. What's next, guys? What's next? Queen a4. That's why I've played this a3. Now it's over for black. The only thing is, after rook h6, it's not immediately a checkmate, right? So rook h7, just king f8. And I'm still in the game, presumably. Yeah, I'm still in the game, so my idea was just to take here. Attacking the queen, by the way. And e4 at the same time. Position is pretty complicated. I'm almost checkmated, but not quite. Which means we're still fighting here. We're still fighting. And our bishop is finally good, and that is what was prepared against rook c7, just to take the rook. I'm quite lucky in this game. Quite lucky, but there is no time. Have to hurry up. Have to hurry up. Completely blind here. I don't see what my opponent has prepared. I have to be very careful because my king is quite exposed, as well as white's, but okay, fighting for space again. It's all about space. The whole game is about space. Okay, so what's going on? That's a queen. I didn't expect that move. That's why it took me so long to realize he was just hanging there. So, interesting game. I was almost, yeah, was almost squeezed. I think if White would have played something like a4 at some point, so somewhere here, after I played this move and played bishop, okay, there was no time for it, maybe. Knight to g4, bishop there. Yeah, what about protecting that pawn with the knight for now? Just to play a4 and to prevent any sort of activity for black here. I think in this case it would be just a nightmare position for me. Because simply no counterplay. Okay, the pawn structure is bad, no questions. But if I cannot attack these pawns for sure, and I for sure cannot, I mean, then this weakness is not that important. And White's play on the king side is automatic. You've seen that during the game. Black cannot do anything to prevent it. So you can literally do anything you want here on the king side. But it was really important to prevent my counterplay here. So after queen e2, as you can see, I've started grabbing some space for my pieces. Move by move. Obviously, king side is just lost. Yeah, White is dominating there. But I've got some counterplay. And as you can see, it's all moves were quite logical. So here's the weakness now. It is here. Then I've played a3 to prepare the queen a4 with a further attack against it. I've captured it. I activated my queen because of it. And here we go. So it's absolutely a different picture if compared to what could have happened in case of White's a4 at some point, completely stopping it. So it would be just a position with an amazing advantage in space for White and no counterplay for Black. That's what I mean. Okay. It's getting late. So one more game, I guess. And we'll continue on Thursday. So as I have already said, this week we are having two banters. So the one today and the one on Thursday. And maybe even the one on Sunday. It's not scheduled yet, but there is a little chance. I'll be also playing on Sunday. Bishop b5. a6. Why did I play e5? I wanted to play something dynamic. Now there is no dynamic opportunity for me because White has captured on c6. Oh, e5 immediately. It's not very good. Bishop g5 is better. Because e5 we can slide squares a lot. Especially f5 after e5 is quite vulnerable, and it's a good position for my knight potentially. My light squared bishop now feels much better in general. Okay, bishop e7, controlling d8 square, controlling h4. Intending just to play bishop h3 next move if White doesn't react the proper way. I'm not capturing c2. I've had a bad experience against Kramnik's student, so he managed to beat me several times, or at least, put me in a very bad position. When I captured that pawn, it's too greedy, so it's much better just to keep developing pieces here, I believe. All right, now, a bishop f5 is a possibility to prevent knight to e4. Knight to h6 is a typical move here. Just to go to f5. Yeah, I'm going to play this. Knight h6. Yeah, this user pick showing Nimtovich is quite impressive. Quite impressive. When I see it, I always like ask myself before making each and every move, is it really good enough? So it's a motivation, additional motivation. Thank you for that. Okay, let's bring the knight to f5. It's pretty much in the spirit of Nimtovich what I'm doing here, by the way. It's light squares. It's all about light squares. At some point, I'm going to play h5. Maybe even next move. Why not? I have to be careful, though, with almost all white's pieces controlling g5. Maybe h5 will be a necessary weakening of the g5 square. So we'll see. Maybe just bishop e6, continuing the development. Queen to d3 now. You know what? Maybe even h6 covering g5. And then bishop e6, rook d8. Let's try it. I don't think it's the best decision here, but it's definitely not the worst one. Now we can take on g3, damaging the pawn structure. Well, white has already damaged it after taking on g3 with the f pawn. I can take on d3 now, creating an isolated, or a backward pawn, it's better to say, on the d file as well. There is also a possibility just to play bishop f5 and capture on c2 with the bishop. I think now it's safe, so let's play this move. Queen to b3, attacking b7. That is what I've missed. That is what I've missed. Oops. Okay, let's castle then. I think even if I don't win some material immediately, I already have pretty pleasant position here. I have a pair of bishops. White no longer has material advantage on the king side. I mean, it's formally still there, but pawns are doubled, just like my pawns are doubled on the queen side. So white has spoiled everything with this exchange on g3, I guess. And this e5 is potentially very, very vulnerable. But you know what? I guess I'm winning material after all. So bishop c2 attacking queen, forcing it to c4, and then bishop d3 winning the exchange. Yeah. Position was too weak, so no surprises. There is something tangible. Oh god, my chat is frozen again. So here we go. Bishop d3. And takes on f1. Oh wow, what's going on here? Let's bring our queen to action. Now the bishop and the checkmate, or winning a minor piece. No, checkmate. My opponent decided to checkmate himself, which is no difference here because black is already having decisive advantage. So everything started with the e5, although it was not a decisive mistake, but it's already quite inaccurate move. Bishop g5 is better, and then taking on d4 with the queen. And somewhere here, I believe, yeah, knight g3 was not good. 100%. I know it's no longer that simple for white to play here, but knight g3 is definitely accelerating the worst that can happen in this position. Because after that, like, I'm damaging your pawn structure. Whatever happens, if you take with the h pawn, it's still a bad pawn structure. I still have this bishop f5, or just queen takes d3. Pair of bishops, better pawn structure, so black is better, simply, right from the opening. Important thing, if you take on g6, I just play knight e2 check first. And then, yeah, winning a piece. So knight g3 was probably a decisive mistake. After that, well, these things are just details. Black is having a great advantage. All right. Anyway, thank you for this game. I hope it was instructive. Now you know that with the e4, e5, yeah, you grab some space, but at the same time you lose some space because my pieces get this amazing f5 square. Yeah. Thank you guys in general for being with me, for watching this show. It was not planned, but I think it was good. I was not in the best shape, but still explained something, I hope. We'll be happy to see you all this coming Thursday, just as usual, planned Banter Blitz. And don't forget to check the improvement branch of the community. There is my post where you can leave your questions in comments, and I will be answering those questions, maybe not all of them, but most of them, in 1 week from now. Okay. Wish you all the best and see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.